Dispatch didn't shout. They didn't threaten us. They didn't even sound afraid. They just said, "Do not ask what happened on Route 66. No explanation, no follow-up. Just silence afterward, thick, deliberate silence, like they were waiting to see if any of us would push back." That was the first thing that felt wrong, because in dispatch, questions are the job. You ask where. You ask when. You ask what you're dealing with before it gets worse. Telling us not to ask went against everything we were trained to do. At the time, I told myself it was a dark joke. Emergency workers use humor like that to survive. But no one laughed. No one even smirked. We all just stared at our screens while the radio hissed softly in the background. And if you're listening to this now late at night, maybe with the room quiet around you, and that line already makes your skin prickle, you should know something. That feeling doesn't go away. I worked night dispatch out of Flagstaff, Arizona, graveyard shift. The hours when your body feels like it shouldn't be awake, and your brain fills in the gaps with shadows. Most of our calls came from highways breakdowns, drunk drivers, the occasional wildlife collision. Route 66 was technically still active, but barely. During the day, tourists took photos of old diners and rusted signs. At night, it was empty. Miles of road with no lights, no service, no witnesses. Just headlights cutting through desert darkness. My routine never changed. Clock in, strong coffee. Check equipment. Listen to the static hum of open channels. That sound becomes part of you after a while. You stop hearing it until it changes. That night in October, everything was quiet. Too quiet. No calls for almost an hour. Even highway patrol units were barely checking in. At 1:17 a.m., Unit 12 radioed from mile marker 89. "Roads clear," the officer said. "No traffic. Visibility normal." I logged it without thinking that timestamp matters. Remember it. Before I go on, if stories like this make you uneasy in a way that lingers, it helps to stay connected. Subscribe if you want to hear the rest of what never made it into the official reports. And if you've ever driven a road that felt wrong for no clear reason, keep listening. At 1:46 a.m., the first call came in. No caller ID. That happens on Route 66, dead zones everywhere. I answered automatically. "Dispatch, what's your emergency?" Breathing on the line, slow, controlled, like someone trying very hard not to panic. "I think I missed something," the man said. "Sir, where are you located?" "Route 66. Can you give me a mile marker?" Another pause, longer this time. 89. My fingers stopped moving. "There's a diner," he continued. "I passed it twice. Same waitress, same car parked outside." I didn't turn around. There was no diner there. It burned down over 20 years ago. Nothing left but ash and concrete. Before I could respond, the audio shifted. Not static something patterned. A looping distortion, like sound folding back into itself. Then the line went dead. I logged it as a confused motorist. Fatigue, stress. That's what we tell ourselves, because the alternative is worse. At 1:52 a.m. Unit 12 radioed again. "Dispatch," he said slowly. "I'm still at mile marker 89. You checked in there earlier," I said. "I know." His voice sounded strained now. "There's something off," he said. I can hear my radio echoing, but delayed. A few seconds passed. Then I heard his last transmission play back through his own mic out of order. At 1:54 a.m., Unit 12 went silent. We followed protocol. Sent another unit. Ran diagnostics. Checked repeater towers. Everything came back normal. Unit 7 approached mile marker 89 from the opposite direction. Dashcam was clean, empty road, desert brush, reflective sign ahead. As they passed the marker, the video glitched. Just one frame. When the image stabilized, the marker was behind them. But their GPS still said they hadn't reached it yet. "Dispatch, Unit 7 said. GPS is lagging. GPS doesn't lag like that. They slowed, approached again. Same glitch, same error. Then the officer spoke again, quieter. There's a vehicle pulled over. What kind of vehicle? A pause long enough to stretch my nerves thin. It's my cruiser, he said. Same unit number. Same damage on the bumper. The supervisor muted the channel. Do not ask what happened, she said calmly. That sentence felt rehearsed. After that night, calls from Route 66 increased. Always late. Always near mile marker 89. Always with timestamps that didn't line up. 117, 217, 1 to 71. Tuckers reported road signs pointing backward. Drivers heard voices on the radio saying things they hadn't said yet. One man swore his dashboard clock kept resetting to a time he hadn't reached. And every time we tried to dig deeper, the same directive came down. Do not ask what happened on Route 66. If you're listening to this and already forming your own explanation fatigue, time slipping, something worse, hold on to it. I want you to remember what you think this is right now. The night I quit started like every other shift. Quiet, coffee, static. At 1:17 a.m., my console lit up. Incoming call. Internal line. From my own extension. I stared at it before answering. Dispatch, I said. Don't log this, said the voice on the other end. It was mine. Same tone. Same breathing. You already did, it continued. That's why it keeps happening. Behind the words, I heard dispatch codes, mile markers, my own voice reading logs I hadn't written yet. I slammed the receiver down. The supervisor whispered, Unit 12 is checking in. But Unit 12, I know. The radio crackled. Roads clear, the voice said. No traffic. Visibility normal. Timestamp. 2:17 a.m. That's when I understood. It wasn't tied to the road. It was tied to routine patterns, repetition, familiar voices. I walked out mid-shift and never came back. I moved cities, changed jobs, stopped driving at night. Last week, an envelope arrived. No return address. Inside was a printed dispatch log. My name at the top. Timestamp. 1:17 a.m. location. Route 66. Mile marker 89. At the bottom, handwritten in my handwriting. Do not ask what happened. Fear doesn't always arrive screaming sometimes. It sounds routine. The unknown doesn't need belief, just repetition. And the most dangerous warnings are the ones telling you not to look closer. If this story stayed with you, don't let it end here. Like the video so more people hear these reports. Subscribe if you want the next dispatch file. And if you hear this story echo back to you later, come back and tell us.